I got a revelation while I was reading the word this morning. It's because too many people get familiar with God. And I caught this when I was reading the story of David, and David was moving the Ark of God. If you don't know what the Ark of God is, it's a sacred object that God told Moses to build so the Israelites can worship. And that's so important because David wanted to move it, but there's a specific way that you are supposed to move it. It's literally written in the law. You have to move it by your shoulders, and David decided to move it by a cart, showing that in that moment he was familiar with God. He was like, oh, God, I'm not gonna trip about this. Now, while they're moving the Ark of God, the cart that it was on, it stumbled a little bit. Now, one of the people that were part of the group that were moving it, named Uzzah, he reached out to try to save the Ark of God. He tried saving it from hitting the ground. But in that process, God got angry and struck him down and killed him. Now, when I read that, I was confused. I was like, yo, God, why you just strike him down like that? He was just, trying to save the Ark of God. And David was mad too. He was angry at God after that happened. But in that process, he also learned to not be familiar with God and started fearing him more. There's too many times in our walk with Christ where we are comfortable being disobedient to God. It starts getting easier to fall into temptation and sin. It starts getting easier to procrastinate and take advantage of God's time. It starts getting easier to not pray and worship. And although we may have good intention like Uzzah, we may say that we want to get rid of temptation, say that we want to get closer to God, say that we want to read the word. In reality, our disobedience always overrides our good intention because our disobedience shows where our heart is at. Of course, yes, we're in a new covenant with Jesus Christ, so we have grace. But the result of practicing disobedience can lead to the same result. So make sure that you remember to continue to fear the Lord and have reverence for him, respect, and make sure that you remember to continue to be familiar with God. Not being okay with falling into sin sometimes, not being okay with, not worshiping and not reading your word, because that is the only way you're going to be able to be consistent and continue to live the life that God wants you to live. So y'all stay blessed.